I'm at 211 Allison Avenue in Florence, Kentucky, doing a sanitary lateral inspection for the purchase of a home. We're looking for any structural issues, basically anything that would be of concern to the buyer. The access is the floor clean out. There is also a clean out on a rear middle stack, but it has never been removed, and I don't want to risk damaging the pipe by trying to get it out. A lot of times you have to chisel those out to get them out, and based off the condition of it, I don't want to even try to remove it, because it could very easily, cause more problems than it helps. And most of the time, most of the stuff that you find issues with is on the exterior, and I say all that because the access that is available is on the floor, basement floor, right there in the front, if you can see that, but it is in the floor. That cap has been removed previously. It was fairly easy to get off, and so we're going to go through the cast iron clean out, and in most cases the cast iron, or these, which is the same with this case, the cast iron clean out is a sweep, which forces us to go downstream. We can't go back upstream into the house. It is cast iron under the floor. Cast iron is normal for this age of house. The only thing is there's really no way, even when you inspect it, to tell how thin or thick the pipe walls are. You're basically looking for functionality there. There's always some form of rust on the interior of cast iron because it's cast iron, and so it does rust. One thing I always try to tell all the people that do buy these houses with cast iron is to make sure that you don't use any wet wipes or anything. It's more prevalent to have soft clogs in cast iron lines due to how rough the interior of the pipe is. It just happens more often where things clog up. It's usually pretty easy to clear, but it is more, don't flush wet wipes or paper towels or anything down the line, and you'll be fine. Toilet paper is designed to break down for a reason. So I'm gonna enter here, and as you can tell, it drops in at an angle. And this is the biggest thing that we have, is that even though it's going in, as soon as it hits the bottom, it hits some goo and gets stuff all over the front of the camera. So we need to I can try to pull it back out and wipe it off, and we'll try it again, but usually happens right when it hits the bottom of the pipe. It does that. It's a pretty nasty cast iron. When it rusts, it has this black soot, turns into basically liquid charcoal. So we'll take another shot here and hope that this will go. If not, we'll have to run some water through here, and yep, same exact result. So we're going to have to run some water through here, see if we can get this to clear off. So I'm going to turn some water on in the stationary tub in the rear of the basement. So with the water running, it should only take a second for it to get here. There we go. Alright. So, the one thing this is also going to help is we'll be able to see how the water flows through the cast iron until it switches over. Most likely it's going to switch over to clay once it gets out of the house. So far the cast iron looks pretty good. It looks like everything is holding shape, which is, like I said, kind of what you're looking for. I'm a little surprised that we haven't switched over to clay or concrete yet, based off the age of the home. But every once in a while, they did run cast iron all the way out to the street. So far, the line looks really good. It's holding shape pretty well. A lot of times with cast iron, you'll have a channel worn out in the bottom of it, and so what we'll do is we'll get all the way out, and then I will turn the water off, let it drain down, and then when we pull back, we'll be able to see a little better. Alright, looks like it drops off and it's dropping into clay. I'm not really sure what this is doing here at 50 feet. And if we're out at the street, there we go. There was looked like there was some root intrusion there, but we have switched over to clay, 6-inch clay. It's definitely surprising that it took that long to switch over. That means probably out at the where the municipality would take over. It does look like pretty large pipe. I'm not sure. I may have gone into the main. Maybe it dropped right into the main and it was cast iron all the way out. If that's the case, I'll be able to see some connections maybe, but it's like there's a little bit of stuff on the front of the camera here. Looks like the light is a little washed out, and that's a little strange here. So I may be in the main. Or it just went into a large 6-inch clay. But it almost looks like 8-inch. This is okay. I think I'm actually in the main, and I have been for a while, because that is a tap coming in from the left. So I'm going to pause the video, go make sure that that's where I am, and then we'll verify it, and I'll come back in and we'll finish the inspection. Okay, we are in the main. So the main's is actually in the front yard, and so where we dropped off, where the clay ended, or excuse me, where the cast iron ended, that was where it dropped off. It dropped straight into the main, and so it's hard to tell because of the way it dropped off, but this is the main. So as we pull back, should be able to see a little better, but the line looked really good. It should be And so another thing is, as you notice the line itself shouldn't be running any water now, and so you know we're in the main because there's a bunch of water running through there. But that is at least an 8-inch line. And that's why it wasn't lighting up the main or lighting up the pipe as I expected it to, because it's a larger diameter pipe. Another part of that's good news is that the only spot that had any roots in it was that right at the tap, which is actually the responsibility of, in this case, it would be the city of Florence. They're the only ones that have their own sewer department in northern Kentucky. I believe it was like 50 feet, and then it was around 50 feet or so that we dropped into that clay main from the cast iron lateral. And there we are. You can see it dropped off, and now you can see that it went right into the main. And this connection here is covered in roots. And so now the fact that we're sitting at about a 45-degree angle, as you can see in the bottom left-hand corner, that does help keep that flowing. But this is the tap on the main. And so that would be the responsibility of the city of Florence. They may tell you that you have to clean the roots, but it would probably be easier for them to clean it from the main. But there is a lot of roots in there. The hardest thing to do from here to clean that is because of the angle. It would probably go right on past those roots and right into the main, because it would be dropping down a cliff and then into the main. So that's at about 52 feet is the roots, and it is also the tap on the main. All the cast iron here looked really good. I didn't see anything of any major concern. As we pull back, we'll look again, obviously, now that the water is not flowing. You can still see a little bit of stuff, as we talked about the channeling on the bottom of the pipe. That's all normal. But you can see how the rust is, how rough it is, and that's what I mean when I say it's more likely to get soft clogs due to toilet paper and stuff catching on that. Like I said, toilet paper is not usually an issue, because if it does get caught, it'll break down and keep flowing. It's things like wet wipes and stuff that we had talked about that can catch on that rough pipe and build up, because the water, it doesn't disintegrate in water like the toilet paper does. But overall, the cast iron looks really good. It's really holding shape nicely. A lot of times you'll see it built up and the line kind of choked out, so that it doesn't keep the original shape and form. And this is pretty close to the original. A lot of times they'll even have almost like a flat bottom where it's built up a lot. But this all looked really good. Okay, so you can see we are back out of the clean out and back into the drum. So the line looked good. Line looked really good structurally. It was cast iron all the way out to the main, which is not real common, but the line looked good all the way out, with the exception of the root intrusion that is right at the tap, which is actually a spot that would be owned and should be maintained by the city of Florence. So I would contact them and see if they will clean those roots out of the tap. And they may not. They may say, because it's not causing an active issue and it's not actively backing up, they may not come out and even take a look at it, but hopefully they will, and they'll be able to clean the roots out and hopefully maintain it in the future if there are any other issues, structural or more roots. But yeah, the line from the floor clean out all the way out to the main was cast iron, and it looked like it was fully functional and functioning as designed. And so that'll end the inspection at 211 Allison Avenue in Florence, Kentucky.